just say what I learned when I fell into that space where I was relying on people to take care of me. And though at the time I couldn't do it for myself because of the situation and the circumstances that were placed upon me, I felt as though the odds were against me. And they were. They were. Things were just kind of not working out. A lot of stuff was falling through, but I got complacent for a moment, for a season in my life where I was relying on other people to take care of me. And what I've noticed with a lot of people is that whenever you step into that space, you're hindering yourself and you're not living to your fullest potential. And, this is one of the things that my grandfather told me when I was in that space and I was getting so many closed doors. Nobody was willing to help me, right? God blesses the child who holds their own, right? And I think that that's probably like the biggest thing that a lot of people don't understand. Like, you got to have grit. You got to have grit. Nobody can do this for you but you. You know what I mean? Nobody's going to live your life the way you can live your life. Nobody's going to take care of you in the ways that you can take care of yourself. And most importantly, nobody knows what's on the inside of you but you. And so understand that. And so if you are somebody who you're relying on other people, whether it be a friend, whether it be a spouse, and I'm not talking about in a way that's interdependent in regards to your partnership. I'm talking about you are relying on this man or this woman to make ways for you, to take care of you, right? And I'm not talking about I'm talking about physically, emotionally, spiritually, financially, any of those things. Right. And I'm not saying, hey, I'm an independent woman, hear me roar. But at the end of the day, I'm an independent woman. Right. So it's like so what I wanted to add to in regards to life's ebbs and flow, that previous podcast, which is kind of like a part 2. And I'm just kind of chiming in on the conversation because there was a little bit more that I felt like I wanted to say in regards to that conversation. And I just wanted to let you guys know, if you are in that space where you're relying on other people, you got to stop that. Dead it. Literally, like right here in its tracks, dead it. It is so important that you develop resilience. And you may not want to be a billionaire. You may not want to be a millionaire. You may not want to scale a business. You may not want to have 6 figures. You may you may not want any of those things. And that is okay. You know what I mean? That's okay. Right? That's your personal choice. But at the end of the day, you got to be resilient for life, and you got to show up for life, because life is going to show up. Life is knocking at your door, and it doesn't stop. It doesn't stop. And so if you are somebody who, especially if you're up under your parents, understand that your parents, they love you. They're going to be there for you. They're going to show up for you. But your parents can be your biggest hindrance. Okay, they can be your biggest hindrance because they are nurturing, right? They coddle you, they support you, they help you out financially when you're in those ruts, right? And it's a blessing. It's a blessing, especially when you're young. You need that, of course. But understand that if you don't have that right there, you may be in a season where you're angry with your parents, but understand that right there is probably one of your greatest advantage, because what I've learned and what I've found, even with myself, I told you guys a little bit about my background and just kind of how I grew up. It's a difference between people who have been supported in these ways and they've always kind of had their parents there to hold their hand. And then there's a different type of person who had to do this on their own. You know what I mean? Who do you think wants it a little bit more, right? Who do you think is going to give a little bit more, right? Like, who do you think is going to put in the extra time? Who do you think is going to outwork who at the end of the day, right? And so basically what I'm saying is learn to be self-reliant. Okay, learn to be self-reliant. Learn to step into a space where you got to you're gritty. You got to have grit, and you got to keep pushing, because life is showing up every day and it doesn't stop. And people think, like I said, you make a couple, you're in a certain financial threshold. Yes, it's going to make a difference, but at the end of the day, life still shows up. You know what I mean? Life is a mental game, and it is a series of experiences and situations that are going to do either one or two things. It's going to test your mental strength, and it's going to strengthen you, or it's going to break you down, right? And like I said, when I gave the example about homeless people, they're really no different, right? It's a mental thing. It's a mental thing. And so don't ever get complacent. If you're in a season where you're relying on other people, or if you're building something, you're relying on other people, that's fine. But at the end of the day, take care of yourself and be self-reliant. I hope everybody has a great day. Happy Friday. Maybe I'll just go ahead and name this self-reliance, because I think I've said that like a million times. And if you want to know how to be self-reliant, it's just depend on yourself. You know what I mean? Count on yourself. Show up for yourself. You know what I mean? That's all it is. It's really no rocket science to this, you guys. It's just showing up for yourself. Do what it is that you say you're gonna do. You know what I mean? And give 110. You know, give your best at that. If you say you're gonna do something, you give it 110. Go all out. You know what I mean? That's all it is. And then it's relying on yourself. You know, to an extent. Like I said, take it how that applies. Don't just, you know. And so, yeah, happy Friday, you guys. And I hope everybody has a great day.